Okay, we're going to start now. It's 12:05. Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, good evening. Depends on when you'll be listening to this recording. Welcome to our Inspired by an Expert series. My name is Joshua Victoria, and I will be anchoring this session. This series is where we bring you face to face with people whose journey, insight, and stories can open your mind to new possibilities. Now, let me be very real with you. Sections like these are more than just listening to someone talk. No, it's beyond that. This is a chance to, we are giving them a chance to compress years of their real life lessons into just 90 minutes. You get to borrow from someone else's experience, and then you avoid the mistakes they have made and spot opportunities you might never have considered. Think of it like this. If Osarode has spent years climbing a mountain, I mean years, today you are going to get the map, the shortcuts, and the survival kits, all without having to scrap your own knees. Isn't that amazing? Now, this conversation is for you, whether you are here to gain clarity, or you are here to sharpen your skills, or find inspiration, or even confirm that your dreams are valid. So, I encourage you to listen actively. That's very important. Take notes where necessary. And when we open the floor for questions, kindly speak up. Who knows? That one question you ask could shift your entire perspective. Now we're going to be introducing our expert for the day. We're so glad that he agreed to do this. Okay, so it is my honor to introduce our guest, Mr. Osarode Stephen Odeminge. I hope I pronounced it well. He is a photographer, an environmentalist, and an innovator. He's currently enrolled in the University of Benin, where he's studying environmental microbiology. Please, if you can hear me, kindly react so I am sure that I am audible. Oh, thank you very much. So yes, he's currently enrolled in University of Benin, where he's studying environmental microbiology with a focus on recovering human hair waste and extracting supplements for use in mushroom production, insect rearing, and food production. He also graduated from the University of Benin, Department of Biochemistry, yes, with a second class upper. Interesting. His passion for sustainable development took him into microbiology. He has the ability to manipulate light. So a microbiologist that is also a photographer. He has the ability to manipulate light and create stunning photographs from the most basic situations. His skill set got him an invitation to capture images at the groundbreaking ceremony of the Dr. Waifo Musical Production Center. That's for the Edo State government in 2021. As an innovator, Stephen created, or he created, yes, the Rodom. I hope I got that right. A simple light modifier for photographers in 2021 from empty Pringles containers. I think I've come across your Rodom during one of the circular exchange program in CIP. Okay, yes, he used Pringles containers. He has gone on to sell the Rodom as well as pitch his ideas in several capacities, making it to the finals of the Lagos Circular Challenge 2022. He is also currently working on solutions to reuse the fruit waste and post-harvest waste from farms as substrate for growing mushrooms. This is part of his PhD program at the University of Benin. He has been nominated and won several awards, including the Shell SPDC JV undergraduate scholarships in 2015 and the MTN Foundation undergraduate scholarship in 2015 as well at the University of Benin, Benin City, Nigeria. He also participated in the Amplify Fellowship in late 2021. He's a Loop Lab Incubation Fellow. He also is the inaugural winner of the MTN Nigeria Pachi Panda Challenge in 2024. Please, with digital claps, that's a round of applause. Let's welcome our guest for today, Mr. Osarode.
Thank
Let me
you.
see the claps. Yes, what a very,
Thank
very
you.
wonderful bio. Wow, wow, wow.
Thank you
And
so
it's good
much.
to have someone from my alma mater here too. I am also a graduate of the University of Benin. So
Greatest
yes,
universe.
yes, great.
Thank you so
Yes,
much,
yes,
Victoria.
sir. Yes.
I don't want
Welcome.
to.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you for the opportunity. I want to appreciate CEIP, Circular Economy Innovation Partnership. You guys are doing very, very good work with this opportunity to give, innovators a chance to speak about their work. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, sir. So let me take this opportunity to welcome everyone that has joined the call. I can see Michael. Michael, it's nice to have you on the call. I can see Dobra, welcome. I can see Ebenezer, welcome. I can see Kelestu. I hope I got that right. Welcome. Everybody, I want to say welcome. Thank you for joining us this beautiful afternoon. So, yes, we'll go straight to our session, Inspired by an Expert session. We are here to get inspired by Mr. Osarode, the expert. So let's break the ice with this. What's one thing, Mr. Osarode, please, what's one thing about you that most people here would never guess?
Hmm. What's one thing that people here will never guess?
Yes.
I don't know now because I feel that there's something that one person may know that others may not know. But let me go soft and say I enjoy animes. Let me say if that counts. I enjoy animation. That's animes by Japanese writers and the likes. So not many people know
Wow,
that.
wow,
Yeah, but
wow.
some.
That's interesting. Wow. Okay, thank you for sharing that with us. So we will go straight to talking about your journey and foundation. Can you walk us through your career journey and what shaped your your current path rather? Would like to hear about
Okay.
it, sir. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I would say that let me start with like the beginning that I applied for medicine at the University of Benin. That was in 2012, 2013. 2013, I applied for medicine and I was given, like everybody says, I was given biochemistry. And as at that time, I did not know what biochemistry was. I just thought, okay, maybe it was biology and chemistry combined together. And it sounded interesting because, okay, since I was good at biology in secondary school, and to a certain extent, I was good at um, chemistry in secondary school, maybe biochemistry will be just me being good at the two at the same time. But I was in for a shocker because that's not what biochemistry is. But I now tried again the next year and applied for medicine. I took the admission for the first time. And when I applied again the second time, they gave me biochemistry again. So I now stopped. I now stopped and asked myself, what if this is a sign? And this is something that personally I today really would I say I don't regret because that ability to stop and look at things when they happen, I think it's a very, very important um, part of anyone's journey. So when I got biochemistry again, I just told myself, you know what? I'm going to study this course and I'm going to find a way to make good out of it. Now, bear in mind that my parents, they were like, okay, don't worry. If you do your biochemistry, when you finish, you're going to do medicine. I was like, okay, let me first finish biochemistry at least. Let me even see what is inside. After all, to become a medical doctor, you have to learn about biochemistry. So let me just try. But as I kept learning about biochemistry, I now found out an entirely new and open field. And then in my final year, when I finished, I now asked myself some deeper questions. Do I really want to do medicine? Or do I want to do medicine because, I'm just trying to please my parents? So I told my parents that, okay, let me go and serve. When I serve, I'll come back and then we'll now discuss some more. So I served in Delta State, came back. But throughout this time, I was asking myself questions. Questions like, do I really want to do this medicine? Or am I just saying it because, okay, let my parents just chill a little bit? So I came back to my university after service in 2019 and I went to see some of my professors from biochemistry. I wanted to find out like what are the prospects, if there's anything I can do. Because for me, and I began to see that I did not really want to do medicine. after serving. And it's not a matter of maybe, okay, my friends were not coming back or my friends had gone on with their life. It was more of a reason of I don't really enjoy this thing because in university I met medical students. I saw what they did. I did not feel it. It was good, it was beautiful, it was amazing, but I did not feel it. There was no inner conviction. It was just surface. So when I came back, asked some professors, sought mentorship, and I came to a conclusion that one thing that I personally enjoyed from a young age was would I call it playing with materials. I always loved to work with things. So as a child, I used to play with paper, play with carton, play with plastics. And even as I grew, even to my teenage years, I used to do that on the side. So those things now informed my decision that what if you look at something that is encompassing, something that deals with materials, maybe how to use materials again, how to recycle, how to. So that idea came back. But remember, when I was a child, I was doing that thing on a low. I used to make my own toys with paper and carton and plastics. So when I was doing that as a child, I didn't know it was called recycling. I just knew it was called, making my toys and having fun. But now, as an adult, and I began to see that these things I was doing as a child was actually me expressing myself, doing what I really enjoyed without any sort of restriction or any sort of compulsion. I just did it and it was going. So I now decided to like apply for my master's in 2020. COVID struck, then had to push it to 2021 in environmental microbiology. And that's like 2021 till now has been me doing a lot of circular economy themed stuff. But like I said, there were hints of these things from when I was a child. Just that now I'm doing it in a mature or adult way. So that's it, essentially.
Wow. Wow. I'm sure a lot of us can relate to this story. If not a lot of us, I can. Like I said, we went to the same school. Or yes, they have a way of trying to throw you into courses that you really did not apply for. But like you said,
Exactly.
so like you said, he did try to find out the purpose of him being in that place. So it did not seem like, oh, it was a very dark or bleak situation. I am sure most of us or people who will be listening to this recording later will draw inspiration from this very particular thing. Sometimes it's usually not that bad as it seems. See how far he has come now. So there will be no road home without him choosing this very path. Thank you very much for
Exactly.
that one. So
Thank you.
yes, here's the next question. In your early days, what was the biggest challenge you faced and how did you overcome it?
Okay. Early days. By early days, you mean early days like in my master's, like postgraduate or undergraduate?
In your career,
Okay,
I
my
think
career. Okay. Um, I would say something that really uh struck me at first was
yes,
there was a kind of would I call it a short supply of like minds, a short supply of like minds, and that's just usually location based. Um, you know how sometimes if you're in a particular place, there are only certain things that you can see or get access to. But the moment you change location, you now begin to get access to more things. And I would say I would thank Obasanjo's internet because the internet by virtue of itself is it allows you to move. So even if you're in a place where nobody's doing anything, once you have access to the internet, there's a way you can begin to move. You may not move fully, but you begin to see that okay, I'm not the only person that is thinking like this, or okay, other people are also doing something like this, and that now opens up a kind of door for you. You get so that is something that has really helped me on a very like personal level. Having access to the internet, having access to other individuals, because sometimes when you're trying to do innovative stuff, if there's no environment to support it, innovation dies. That's the truth. Innovation dies when there's no environment to support it. So having the internet has given me the opportunity to actually climb, and then meeting individuals in real life. That's why universities are important, universities, schools, because chances are you'll meet somebody who is also thinking along that line, and you guys can begin to, like, work on something and then push ahead.
Thank you very much, sir. Here's one thing I picked from that particular question you just answered. You
Mhm.
said innovations, I am requoting you or rephrasing rather,
Yeah, yeah,
innovations without support dies. That's very
true.
true. Because you can
It's
have all
true.
the ideas, and if there are no support, it certainly will die.
Yes,
Thank you for
that's
that
true.
one.
Thank
Okay,
you.
so if you could go back to your younger self, what's one piece of advice you would like to give? Because this is secular access community. It's a community made up of young undergraduates, then young graduate people, trying to find their part in the secular economy space, and
Yeah.
they need guidance, they need a lot of advice and a lot of inspiration. So imagine now you going back to your younger self. What's one piece of advice you would give? Because I'm sure it will help them.
Okay. I would like to give this story, and it's my experience from my own undergraduate days, and I hope it can really inspire, people. Uh, in my 200 level, when I was in biochemistry department, University of Benin, we were doing I'll call it grunt work. Go to class, read your book, study in the night, wake up, sleep, do it again, do it again, do it again, and do it again. And then my friends and I were passing, like, in our faculty, and we saw a board where it was advertised scholarship opportunity by MTN. And when we first saw it, we saw the stuff. They said, oh, if you're a science student, they wrote the criteria out. We qualified for so many of the things. They now said this scholarship is for, they now listed some departments. Now, this department that they listed, biochemistry was not part of it. But look at the trick here. They listed zoology, they listed botany, they listed, I think there was this other field at the time, but we did not see biochemistry. So my first thought was, why is there no biochemistry? And this is just a little bit of history. Some people that know Uniben and they know biochemistry department in Uniben, they know that that department is hard. By hard, I would mean the department is very strenuous, the lecturers are very tough and everything. In fact, if you're doing biochemistry and you say it in a public place in Uniben, people look at you and be like, oh, oh, you are just going to suffer. But for me, I felt a sense of pride that, okay, I was doing the most difficult course on campus. That was my mindset. My mindset was, I was doing the most difficult course on campus. People should not pity me because me, I'm not pitying myself. I'm going to put in what I need to put in to get what I need to get done. So when I saw the scholarship and they did not put biochemistry, to be honest, I felt insulted. I felt, what is going on here? How can you not put the toughest course on campus for a scholarship and you're putting these courses? Now, I'm not trying to shade PVB or BAL or zoology. It's just that, as at the time, biochemistry was placed in a separate place. Like, you're in biochemistry, oh my God, sorry for you. You are so finished. So why would they put it as a course for scholarship? Is it that the course is too hard? Or is it that the course was not taken into recognition? So I told my friends that, guys, we're going to apply for this thing. And they were like, but look now, our course is not here. And I was like, bro, have you not seen how people look at us on campus? They think we are in the most hellish place. Shouldn't that make us even be more proud of ourselves? So this mindset that I had, I like to call it a can-do mindset. That when you see something that doesn't look like an opportunity, flip it. Ask yourself, why not? Don't ask yourself why. So now there was no biochemistry. People were saying, oh, no biochemistry. I was saying, why is there no biochemistry? There should be biochemistry. Biochemistry is a tough course. You guys should give us a scholarship. I went ahead. My friends, we rallied together, four of us. Some other ones said they will not apply because they didn't see biochemistry. Now, the four of us that applied, long story short, we got the scholarship from biochemistry department. In 200 level, we were earning 200K per session to just keep our GP above 3.5 over 5. Just keep it above 3.5. And they'll pay you 200K every session. Now, when I remember that, And I asked, and I think to myself, how many people would have seen opportunities and because they didn't see their course, they just gave up, even though they saw some other science courses. Because for me, my mindset was if they could put PBB, if they could put AEB, then what is biochemistry? We are all under life sciences. Why is biochemistry not there? In hindsight, I now think that why they didn't put biochemistry was because maybe they did not even, maybe it escaped them. Maybe they were not even thinking of biochemistry. They were just thinking of other life science courses that were popular. But that initiative to say, I'll not take no for an answer or I will try is what I would say any young person should do. If you see something that looks like an opportunity, even if it doesn't look clearly spelled out, even if you meet some of the criteria, just try because it's in that trial that you will now know for sure that okay, I'm not part of this thing, or okay, I'm part of it. And then when we now got the scholarships and people were now like biochemistry, you guys got the scholarship. I'm like, yes, we got it because we even attempted, we tried, and we actually got it. So as a young person, don't be as I call it this, don't be worried about looking cool. Do the cringe things, those things that they call cringe, those things that they call, oh, this is not cool, this thing is not hot. Do those things because most of the time, those are the things that will give you results. Don't always wait for, let's say, permission. Assess some things yourself. Think of it in a different tone. Think of the why not. Don't just think of the why. Think of the why not. And then go for it. Chances are you'll get it most of the time.
Thank you very much, sir. When you see something that doesn't look like an opportunity, flip it. That's what he calls a can do mindset. I'm sure this particular, I'll call it a quote by Mr. Steven. This particular mindset is something we can apply to every area of our lives. It will do a lot of good.
Exactly.
Yes, yes,
Exactly,
yes.
exactly. Because most times, and just to add, most times when you see most opportunities, right, or most and or virtually any, will I call it job placement or anything, the people that are advertising, they don't always know what they need. This is a secret.
Mm-hmm.
They don't always know. Yes, they need somebody with two and so years of experience. They need somebody. It's okay, but if you just come and say, "Madam, I happen to have done this kind of thing," oh, they may just look at you and be like, wait a minute. All these people that were asking for 10 years of experience, this person has done something that equates to 10 years of experience just by doing one particular thing, maybe in a particular place. And they can just pick you because most of the time, people don't always know the entire story, especially recruiters. They don't always know the entire story. So when you step up, you prove to them that, oh, wow, you are someone that's even out of the matrix. They didn't even consider you at first. And they begin to think of how to actually integrate you into the equation.
Thank you very much, sir. Okay, let's pause here for now and then hear from the audience. Who has a question for Mr. Osarodi and about his journey or early career? You can raise up your hand or, just drop your question in the chat box before we move to the next section. Is there anyone? Okay, so while we await questions, we'll just go on to the next session. Here now we'll be talking about Mr. Osarodi's expertise and then he'll be giving us insights. Sir, from your experience, what trends are you seeing that will shape the next 5 years in your industry, the photography industry? You can as well go into the biochemistry aspect if you'd like to.
Biochemistry,
So, what trends are you
right?
seeing? Yes.
Okay, okay. Yeah, so I'm a photographer, creative director, and I do science stuff. So I will just give it in two separate planes, although it will mostly apply to both. So in photography, I want to say this. Photography essentially is, capturing stuff with light and recording stuff with light. So for aspiring creatives here, the word is practice, 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 practice. There's also collaboration, work with people, find a way to be of value to people, and then learn. But most importantly, practice. And for this, our particular age, there's the thing about content. And by content, I mean anything that can show what you are doing is content. It doesn't have to be shot on the latest iPhone or the latest camera gear. if you can produce videos or you can have somebody do videos of you doing what you do and you put it online, chances are you'll meet more people. Because the way these algorithms are being designed now by Meta and by TikTok is that if you put up something about what you are doing in video form, they push you higher in the algorithm. So you can be the best watchmaker, you can be the best photographer, but if you only post pictures, chances are you may not have a lot of reach. And reach is important for many things. Reach is important for prospective clients. Reach is important for showing your diversity to like so many people. So doing videos is important right now as a creative. The video doesn't have to be high definition, like I said. It just has to be something that shows you doing what you do. It could show you editing. It could show you shooting. It could show you advising a client. It could show you, doing anything that you do in your field. Content is key now, and it will be key in some years to come. And then secondly, still on the creative part, work with artificial intelligence. I'll say it again. Work with artificial intelligence. And when I say this, I come from the perspective of artificial intelligence has existed for some time now. It has not existed, or it did not come into existence after 2020, because I think that's when ChatGPT exploded. 2021, 2022, ChatGPT exploded. But before that time, there was just artificial intelligence. But it was not just well known, it was not just well spread. Now, artificial intelligence makes you, would I call it works with you. So if your intelligence or if what you are doing is at level 5 out of 10, if you add AI, you get up to level 8, level 9 out of 10. So find a way to work with it. Don't just ask artificial intelligence questions like, what is this? What is that? What is this? Think of things. Think of things in your field. For example, photography. You are thinking of, okay, what can I do for a shoot, for a wedding shoot? You can ask ChatGPT, what advice would you give for a photographer that wants to shoot in Nigeria in raining season? That's just one example. There are several other things you can ask. These questions are deeper questions than, oh, what is this? What is the name of this? What is the name of that? You have to now learn how to do what they call prompting, how to write so that AI can understand you and give you very, very good results. So that is for creative photography and the other side. So for the sciences, my big advice, my big advice if you're in the sciences, your degrees, your BSc, your MSc, PhD, they are important. But I would want you to put your time and your efforts into projects, initiatives, anything that is building something. I think you have more fulfillment and more opportunities by joining projects. Because nowadays, the world is moving towards a world whereby we're looking for doers, people that can do stuff, people that can achieve stuff, people that can get stuff done. Degrees are important. Degrees are credentials to show that, oh, I have a BSc in this, I have an MSc in this. But let us say you go to somewhere and you are applying, and then somebody who has a BSc, but their BSc is not maybe first class, maybe it's 2-2. But guess what? They have had the opportunity to be in a project that successfully, for example, planted 1,000 trees in the desert. If the project you are going for, if the job you are going for involves tree planting, involves some level of forest taking care of, or forest regulation, or forest management, chances are the person who has a tutu but was involved in planting 1,000 trees, the person has pictures, the person has videos, the person has evidence to show that they were involved in planting 1,000 trees in one so-called UNESCO or United Nations project. The person will get the job because they were involved in an initiative, they were involved in a project. So for the sciences, I really want scientists or science-based students to get involved in projects. Find a way, volunteer, do anything to be part of projects, because it will be a more better credential in the future than, oh, I have a BSc, oh, I have an MSc. If you say, oh, I planted so and so number of trees with so and so number of people, or oh, I was part of this program that went to so and so village and we treated so and so diseases, it will be far more valuable than saying, oh, I have a first class. That's because the number of people that will have degrees will become so much. In fact, they're already so much, but they will become so much more. But having a project to your belt, having a project to yourself that, oh, I was part of this project, I did this, I did that, I volunteered for this, I had this impact, will make people see you in a completely different light. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Engage in showmanship, not showmanship without substance. Showmanship with substance,
Yes,
and
with
then
substance.
yes,
With
and then
substance.
utilize artificial intelligence. The good thing about this session is, so far, whatsoever insight he has shared is something that can be related with our everyday life, and not just his field alone, every other field you find yourself. Because these days, you saying, oh, you can do this, you can do that. Okay, fine, thank you. Yes. Where is the proof? So that's what it's trying to say. Let people see the proof. Engage in showmanship. Thank you very much, sir. Here's another question. If you have any questions, and that is I'm talking to the audience, kindly drop them in the chat box. Or if you would like to speak, you are free to just indicate by raising your hands. Okay, sir, can you share a project or achievement that you are most proud of, and what made it successful?
Okay, this would be my, I'll call it, well, okay, I'll say it's my master's project. And I'm very excited about it. Would I say I'll not? Okay, I will say I'm very excited about it because for me, it changed my life. It changed my life. Um, I would narrate it this way. When I started my masters at the University of Benin in the Department of Microbiology, we were tasked with coming up with project topics, or rather, it is required for you to come up with a project topic. And remember, I said I like to do stuff with stuff. I liked to get my hands busy. So I was thinking of a lot of things. What will I do? What will I do? What will I do? What will I do? And then this day I went to the barber shop to cut my hair. And while he was cutting my hair, I observed that his what I call it attendant, the or the barber shop attendant, one of his other staff, was packing for the day. So he was packing like human hair. He was just packing the hair like a lot because that day they had cut a lot of like customers, a lot of clients' hair. So there was so much of it. And he was putting it like in a dustbin. And in that moment, I just asked the person cutting my own hair, who is the owner of the shop, that, boss, wetin una go do with all this hair? And then he just told me, we'll throw it away. And in that moment, when he just said, we'll throw it away, something screamed inside of me like, no. And and I looked at him. He said, hey now, like, what do they do with it? It's rubbish. It's useless. There's nothing. My mind kept telling me, no, it's not useless. It's not rubbish. It's not useless. It's not rubbish. But I didn't say it out though, because in Benin City, if you if you talk about people's hair in a particular way, they would think you are a juju or a voodoo person. So I just told him, okay, you know what? Please, let me get back to you. So he cut my hair, I paid, I left, and then I now went online to research what can human hair be used to do. And lo and behold, to my earnest and shocking surprise, human hair in Europe and I think America and places like Asia has been used to do so many things. And I'm not talking about juju, please. Let us be very clear. It's not witchcraft, it's not voodoo. I'm talking about things that will better the lives of so many people. Human hair has been used as fertilizer, human hair has been used as food additive. Now, when I say this, everybody will scream, what? How can you put hair in food? Yes, they put it in food. Some of the food you eat from abroad has hair in them, but they will not tell you because they will not put the hair directly. They'll put a part of the hair inside the food. That's another day's explanation, sha. But human hair has been used to do so many things. And here we are in Nigeria, we are throwing it away in the tons, in the keep. We're just throwing it away every year, just throwing it away, throwing it away, throwing it away, saying, oh, it's useless now. There's no use for it. So I went back to his salon and I approached him personally, you know, and I said, please, I would like to get some of this hair. And then he told me that that was very strange because the only other people who have been seen to ask of human hair are the notorious Yahoo boys or fraudsters who tend to do some kind of magic to turn the hair into money or something like that. But I now spoke to him, I showed him what I was trying to do, explained, you know, my thought process that human hair contains proteins, and proteins have been shown to be useful for the growth of other organisms. For example, the reason why we eat meat is because meat has protein, and meat is useful for us human beings. But there are some other organisms that can use hair. We human beings cannot use hair to grow because hair cannot be digested by human beings by our innate digestive system. But we can digest meat. But other organisms can use hair and they can digest it and they will grow. So my plan was that why don't we get this hair, gather it, and then use it to grow mushrooms, which is just one type of organism. Other organisms can also use it to grow. Insects, you know, so many other things can use hair to grow. And then the guy was skeptical. He was scared. And I understand. Even me too, I was scared. What if the guy just start shouting, Yahoo boy, Yahoo boy, Yahoo boy, Yahoo boy? And then they lynch me or something. But he now said, okay, since I was explaining it well and I had like my student ID card, I had like stuff to show that I was actually in university, he later agreed. And then we now struck a deal. So me, I felt some kind of victory. And I told myself, okay, now let me go and ask some other barbers. And to my shock, that was when I now understood that not everybody is the same. In fact, in one shop that I went to, I was almost lynched. Almost, but thank God for God's mercy and savings, I made it out alive. Because the thought of using hair to do something was strange. It was weird. Like nobody would listen to you at first glance because what are you saying? Hair? People's hair? For what? Magic, voodoo, charms? Nobody wants to listen to science, innovation, growing of organism. But with time, people began to see that, okay, it was actually possible. But it took a lot of persuasion, took a lot of hard work, a lot of talking to, a lot of trusting, and showing them the process that this thing is not useless. One. Two, this thing is not only used by so called nefarious characters to do charms or voodoo, it can be used to do actual useful science that can benefit not just me, can benefit the entire nation. And so far, I can say that that project opened my eyes to, the realities of doing science in Nigeria, for example, in Benin City. And there's really like nothing really that I can say that gave me part fear, part joy, part disappointment, part excitement. It really opened doors later on for me. In fact, to add, after I did the experiment and everything, I got access to an NGO based in the UK they are into recycling of hair like professionally. That's their job. They recycle hair from barber shops in the UK like professionally. And they were so excited to see what I was doing. But imagine at that first stage, I hesitated and I said, Omo, when they say I'm a Yahoo boy, let me not do that. Let me go and look for something that is easy. Big. That hesitation would have locked a lot of doors. So it pays to really be curious, but to also, would I say, stick to stuff and don't let go. Don't let go.
Thank you very much, sir. So before I go ahead to pick out some lessons you know, I took from what he has said thus far, I want us to go to the chat box and maybe drop one or two lessons you picked from his story. For me, one of the things I picked was your innovation doesn't have to be something entirely brand new. In fact, there are no new ideas. You just have to recycle, make it, how do I put it now, unique, yes, from someone's own, bring out your own. Because like he said, yes, let's say in Benin City, the idea of recycling here was something very, very strange. I can imagine because I know how Benin City can be. So I can imagine that. But then that's something that's already, been on in other places. He was able to find a way to, make that idea innovative and new where he was. That's one. And then to listening to him talk about, oh, hair that is supposed to be thrown away was used for something interesting to grow mushroom and all that. As you listen and you're an innovator, it begins to open your mind to endless possibilities, begins to sharpen your mind. Maybe after this session, you can, you see something in your environment and ask yourself, if Mr. Osarodi can use hair to do this, what can this particular thing be used for? So that is one of the benefits of this session. That's for me. I'm not seeing anything in chat box. Have we not done anything from his story thus far? Should I code call?
You can.
I can't. Okay. Okay, I would like to code call. I can see. Okay. Is it a Mr. or Miss? Pardon me. I'll just call your name. Nusa Hari, Mohammed, Imade Dobra. Okay. There has to be something that you've picked from his story thus far. You can't be just you listening. So let's use this to break the ice. Michelle, Mr. Noah. Okay, someone has dropped something in the chat box. Let's see. Let's see. Okay, he said sometimes we have to be courageous towards our dreams and inner conviction. That is his take. That's very true. Very true. Because the idea of him going to ask a barber for hair, that's a very sensitive thing. But he took the courage regardless and he did not allow, oh, what would they say? Or how would they treat me? How would they respond to this particular thing affect him? He took that bold step. And then because of that, he's actually making waves. All right, we are going further. Um, let's go back to Mr. Sarede. We've been having fun so far, and we have been getting inspired. I want to say thank you very much. Well, we're going to the next section, and this question goes like this: It says, "What skill should someone entering the photography field start building today?" What do you think? What kind of skill set should they start putting together, to thrive in the photography industry?
Okay, for photographers, creatives, I would say patience first. Patience. Like you have to be patient. You have to learn how to wait because most times waiting can even help you. The very act of taking photographs actually requires patience. When you're with a camera, most times you have to watch what's going on. As you are watching, something begins to happen, and then at the right time, bah, you take your shots. So if you are always snapping, you will not take an important moment because you will just be bah, 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 bah. But if you are watching, observing, waiting, like would I call it a hunter going after prey, you are waiting. Lions don't just run around trying to catch a prey. They wait, they watch a lot before they actually start running because you don't want to run for nothing. Exactly. So patience is something that I would really advise, the ability to learn, to sit down, watch other people, learn from them. You yourself practice. Now there's a beautiful way to wait that I will call it the patience in doing. So sometimes as a photographer, you will see one photographer's work in New York and you'll be like, hi, this guy is too good. When will I ever be like this guy? When you take your own picture, you'll be like, hi, my picture is not even fine. My picture is not even very neat. It's not even fine like this guy's own. But the patience to say, okay, my picture is not as fine as this guy's own, but will that stop me from snapping? No. Will that stop me from editing? No. The ability to keep doing. In due time, you start observing that you start becoming better than you were before, which is the most important thing. In fact, if you ask me, trying to become like somebody in New York, for me, especially photographically, doesn't make much sense. Instead, develop yourself such that you can say, oh, last year, this was how I was shooting, or this was what I was doing. This year, this is how I am doing. So every year, you are growing. That's far more important than, oh, I want to become like this guy in New York. I want to become like this guy in UK. I want to become like this guy in, Paris. You just be doing your own work and be improving. Make sure that you are learning. Make sure that you are learning. Make sure that you are learning. You get. So for me, it really comes down to patience. I would say resourcefulness as a second thing, the ability to think on your feet. As somebody who is learning stuff, try and learn about the craft, learn about other things relating to the craft, so that you can always contribute in conversations and stuff. Don't just be in your little corner. Of course, in contributing, you have to contribute respectfully. But if you go ahead and you're just like, oh, let me not talk, oh, or oh, let me not to show myself. I'm not saying you should go around bragging, but if problems come, you should be able to try and solve them. That's resourcefulness. Trying to solve something, trying to do something. It will help your photography career a lot. To help it a lot. So that's it.
Thank you very much. Two skill set that we need as photographers, as if we want to go into the creative industry: patience and resourcefulness. Thank you very much, sir. Okay, here's another one. If someone has limited resources but big goals, where should they start from? Because that's the situation with
Yeah.
most innovators: big dreams, big
Right.
goals, but little resources.
It's something that I have experienced, and I would say something is that you have to, okay, let me put it like this. Wherever you are, right, find a collective to join. And by collective, I mean a community. Find a community to join. If there's no community and you can build one, start building one. And the reason why this is important, I have like a very, very clear example for that. There's this creative agency. It's called We Talk Sound, WTS. Some people may be familiar with them. WTS started from the University of Ibadan in, I think, 2016, 2017. It was started by a friend of mine, Dolapo Amusat. Now, it started as what? It was a group of people who liked music, who liked rap, different type of music, but they'll come on there and chat about it on WhatsApp. They'll come on there and say things like, oh, this rapper is so good, your own is so bad. This one says a lie. My own is the best rapper in the world. This one will say, no, Whiskey over Burna Boy, Davido. This one will say, Burna Boy over Whiskey, Davido. That was how it started. But over time, individuals in the community started to pick up skills. Some of them were producers, some of them were artists, some of them were photographers, some of them were different things. And as the community grew, it absorbed in more people. Now, We Talk Sound is one of the largest creative communities in Lagos, Nigeria, and even West Africa. They have worked with Rema, worked with so many artists, Bella Shmurda, so many Lagos-based artists, Peruzzi, and the rest. In fact, they got me a gig when Rema came to Benin. That was in 20, that was last year now, right? 2024. Yeah, for Rema's homecoming. They got me tickets, exclusive tickets, backstage pass to go into the event and document it. Now, bear in mind, how did they start? It started as a WhatsApp group of friends who used to debate about music and talk about music and stuff. So, if you are young, sometimes you may be tempted to say, oh, I'm too small. Let me go and look for someone that's already big to attach to. It may sometimes work, but most times it doesn't. So, a better skill or a better opportunity is for you to form a collective with people who are like-minded like you and start growing together. Before you know it, you get to a stage where all of you that were going together, you now are in places of influence, even if it's small, small places of influence. But you know that if you pick up your phone, you can call so and so person to make something and something and something happen. So most times, most people are like, okay, I'm small, I'm too small, I'm too small. Let me look for one established person. Chances are that established person doesn't need you. They don't need you because they already have people that they have grown up with. So you coming in there, except you are highly exceptional and need a particular requirement from you before they take you on. But forming a community is a sure way. For me, I feel it is a very sure way of climbing than going to look for a big person already to join to. It becomes very difficult because the big person already has people. You are just coming to add to that number. But in a small community, no matter how small it may look, you guys will start something and will grow it up and then start making your own impact when the time is due. You understand? There's also the opportunity to also find mentors. Mentors are great. If you can find a mentor, great. Eh. But you may not be able to find, but that should not stop you. Like I said, community. Mentorship is great too, but if you don't find, you should not be stopped, or you should not say, oh, I don't have a mentor, I cannot do it. No. And your mentor may not always be somebody in your field. One thing I've come to find out is that there are people who are, I will call them applied generalists. An applied generalist is somebody who they may not be in a particular field, but they have an idea of that field and they have an idea of the basics of life. Having that idea of the basics of life allows you to help people in their own field. It's a unique gift. Not many people have it. But if you find somebody like that, an applied generalist, they can help you in your own field, even though they are not there. They can be engineers, but if you tell them something about painting, they can just tell you that, okay, why don't you try this and this and this? And you just see that it will just work. Those are special people you get. So some people are like that. They can have that gift to be able to apply themselves to multiple fields, even if they are not in those fields. So that's just one scenario of looking at it. And then I will add, find a way to be useful, like on social media, like X, for example, formerly Twitter. I find that X is a community. It's one of the largest communities in the world. Find a way to enter that place and find a way to get people who are in that field, on your so-called field, find a way to get there and work with them. Because now the internet has made things easy. So find a way to get into a field and then start working in that field on the internet. Start showing off what you are doing. It may not be so beautiful. It may not be the best. It may not be the most perfect stuff, but people are watching. And chances are somebody somewhere else can say, I like this. So let's work together on something else. And then you do something amazing for yourself. So use the internet, use it to your advantage, put yourself out there, put what you do out there, and just keep an open mind. Chances are you would eventually attract the opportunity that you're looking for when you build slowly with the community.
Thank you very much, sir. I like the part where he talked about joining a community. You see, that's one of the essence of the secular artist community. There are a lot of people out there who have innovations and know a lot of ideas, but don't know how to start. That's what we do. We point you in the right directions and put together resources like this and then webinars like this that can inspire and become a stepping stone for you. So here is the last one. We're almost rounding up this session. I want to say thank you to everyone that has stayed thus far. Here's one last one for Mr. Osarode. What is next for you and what should we be looking out for? I'm sure there's something cooking.
Yeah. Well, there are so many things cooking. I just
Okay.
let's say, okay, for one, I'm trying to round up, or would I call it um finish my PhD program. So I'm trying to put it together, trying to talk with some external supervisors and people who are familiar on my matter to call it a wrap and stuff. So that's like one thing. I have like my photography business too. I'm also trying to set up some creative ventures, photo as in relating to photography, especially with helping creatives to become, you know, better suited for the world that is coming. I find out that most times photographers are big on, oh, I have the latest camera, oh, I have the latest lens, or oh, I don't have the latest camera, I don't have the latest lens. I've come to find out that photography is not a camera business, it's a people business. It's
Mm.
not a camera business, it's a people business. So I'm trying to take up a kind of initiative to help photographers become, better suited for the world that is evolving every day. And I'm just trying to put up my PhD and then complete it. Essentially, that's what I'm up to for now. For other things, you can follow me and you'll find out in due time. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank
Okay,
you
so I
so
am opening the floor to everyone now for questions. Certainly, there has to be something you want to ask him. You can indicate by raising your hands. You are free to. You can drop your questions in the chat box. Does anyone have questions? You know, they
My
always say, okay, someone has a question. All right.
it's not a question actually. Good afternoon.
Good
Uh,
afternoon.
much. Afternoon.
Thank you, Osarati. I hope I pronounced that well. Thank you so
Yes.
much for sharing. Um, it's like I said, it's not a question. I just want to thank you for what you said, like building your own community. It's more like there are some things, some ideas you have, things you want to do, but when you don't surround yourself with like minds, it's most times you won't be able to fulfill or bring those things that you've thought about into reality. So it's really important that you surround yourself with people who have same mindset, people who you can grow together with. If not, it will be difficult. That's one thing I got there. Thank you. And also, we should never give up. It's not going to be easy. Like I've
Mm.
been following from the onset where you said, oh, you were looking for air to grow your stuff, like for your research of stuff and the things you went through. You just said it, but if we should look into it, the intensity of what you truly faced, it's more than what the way you just explained it. But you didn't give up, and it took you to the place where you are now. So I really got that message too. Like applying it, I ain't going to give up in any area. Focus on my vision and make sure that I surround myself with people who have same vision or almost same vision with me so that it can be easy to grow. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you very much, Ma'am Alison, for that one. Thank you. I am glad you're not leaving here, empty-handed. And I'm sure that the same thing applies to everyone here. So, Mr. Usarode, before we wrap up, if there's one thing you want everyone here to walk away with, what would it be?
Ah, okay. One thing. I would end with this, and it is, I call it, is foresight.
Hmm.
Foresight, and it relates again to the Bible of seed time and harvest time.
Harvest.
Yeah. The reason why you sow is because, in a way, you reap.
Mm.
In a way, that's why you sow, because you reap. So if you sow good things, you would reap good things. If you sow evil, you sow hatred, you sow malice, anger, you would also reap those things. So foresight is, for me, is that you constantly think of ways you can be, would I call it, positivity maxing. That is because the more positive things you put into the world, the more the world gets better. I know, yes, if you look at the news, everything is gloomy, everything is sad, everything is. Truth of the matter is that everything is not sad, everything is not gloomy. News sells because they post bad stuff, or they post painful stuff, or they post sad stuff. There are good things still happening. So on your own personal level, always think of, how can I put more good into this world in a way. Just have that at the back of your mind. How can I put more good into this world? Because when you put those good into this world, it helps not just yourself, it helps other people. So now imagine I'm thinking like that. Imagine Victoria, you're thinking like that. Imagine everybody on this call is thinking like that. Automatically, good just starts to come out in everything that we do, because we are thinking along that line of, oh, how can we make things better? How can we do things for the future? And that's just back to the seed time and harvest time. So yeah, that's it.
Let's give our guest a warm digital applause, please. I'm sure you know where that is here. Just look for the reaction, and please let's
Thank
put our
you.
hands together for him. He has spoken
Thank
a
you.
lot and he has inspired us. Thank you so much on behalf of CEIP and then the Secular Oasis community. I want to say thank you for sharing your journey, your wisdom, and practical advice with us. Thank you to everyone here for engaging, and I am truly grateful. Okay, so I'm encouraging you all to connect with Mr. Osarode on LinkedIn, right? And then on Instagram. I think on Instagram he goes by Rodolens, yes. And then
Yeah.
LinkedIn. You go by what on LinkedIn again?
Osarode Odemige,
Okay,
or
so
Osarode Odewingi, as most people say.
okay. So if you'd like to continue this conversation with him, so you can do that via any of his social handles. Until next time, see you again and do have a lovely weekend. Thank you very much. And yes, I'll be sharing the key takeaways from this section and the link to the recording via your mails. So be on the lookout. Once again, I am
Okay.
Joshua Victoria. Thank you very much, everyone. Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Thank you very much, sir. Yes.
Bye.